Hello, beautiful lady. Welcome back to Higher Self and I. We are diving in today with really looking to see if you are running your business in good subconscious shape. Now, I have a lot of things reflected back to me from clients and business besties and friends, etc., about how consistent I am and have been over the past many years. And I really started to reflect on the fact that it wasn't this bank of content ideas that I have or the amount of creativity that I have. It's actually what's made me be consistent and scale my business to multi-six figures and moving into seven figures over the next couple of years has been myself keeping myself in good subconscious shape. Because do you really think having a bank of content ideas is what has made me be consistent? Sure, running a podcast, having and holding the amount of clients that I do, with whether it's one-to-one, whether it's in the mini minds, whether it's in the membership, whether it's in group containers, masterminds. Yes, it 100% running a business at this level requires creativity. But equally, it's my ability to be consistent week by week, month by month, quarter by quarter, year by year to produce at the level that I do. And what it actually means is that I constantly need to be operating at a certain level. I need to be having and being in good subconscious shape, because we know that our actions really derive from the way that we feel, the way that we're thinking, thoughts and energetics. And after hanging around with a lot of multi-six-figure business owners and over the last year, seven-figure business owners, there has been one through line. And I've spoke about this in a podcast before around the self-belief, but I really see, and when I model and for myself, the thing that is the through line is not their strategy. It's not the way that they're doing things to an extent. It's the thoughts and energetics that they're showing up in. And in order for you to sustain and grow in your business, you need to be in good subconscious shape, because 95% of our actions are coming from your subconscious programming. Now, being in good subconscious shape, what do I mean by that? So, being in good subconscious shape means your subconscious is really operating optimally. It is supporting your goals. It is supporting your mental health and your well-being. And it's supporting the overall effectiveness in your life and in your business. And it's this better thinking thought, automatic thoughts and feelings and behaviors that align consciously with your intentions and values of your business. Because if we don't operate our business in good subconscious shape, and I'm going to be talking about my experience and the experience that I have with clients today, you start to really fall into old patterns, old behaviors, old habits that probably are not supporting where you want to go right now. And this next level that you're trying to reach and this step into that you want to be is being hindered probably by your subconscious, not so much the strategy. I say it time and time again, like a broken record. All of my clients come to me with some kind of strategy that's got them to where they are today. Now, do we refine the strategy? Of course we do. Do we have to change and mold depending on what's going on social media? Of course we do. Can we add things, take away things, get curious around messaging, positioning, product suites, offers? Of course we can. But who is driving the ship of all of those things? It is you. And a lot of the time, it is coming down to how you are starting your day, showing up in your business, and really being in good subconscious shape. Now, this doesn't mean that you are positive Polly all the time. You know how much I speak about that from a point of view of like, I want you to feel the feelings. I want us to look at these thoughts and beliefs that are coming up, and there's always something to work on with your subconscious mind. However, it's the bounce back ability and it's the way of you regulating your nervous system enough to be able to show up in your business, whether that is day to day for you, or whether that is whatever that looks like to the timetable that you desire, but really having this foundational subconscious shaping where you can go through the hard times, where you can navigate clients not paying, where you can navigate nightmare clients, where you can navigate the change in the algorithm, where you can navigate launching and feeling resistant around that. There are so many things that we have to navigate as business owners because it is the thing, we have to navigate things in life, business, all across the board. We're always things are constantly changing as humans. And it's the way that you approach the change or the setbacks or the challenges or your quote unquote failures, if you want to call them that. It's the way that you navigate them and the amount of time it takes you to move through them that's going to have this impact on your business. So I wanted to talk to you, first of all, a couple of characteristics that I really step into and have done for the past couple of years that has allowed me to be as consistent to produce what I produce, to speak to this high caliber client that I attract, to consistently make sales, I've not dropped below multi 5 figures. I can't even tell you. I mean, I could tell you because it's all in my finance bank on ClickUp, but like, there has been sustainability or growth in my business, never a drop. And even through maternity leave, I obviously have to do things a little bit differently, but really looking from a curiosity point of view rather than, oh my God, I'm freaking out. My business is going under. There's so many stories that I could tell myself going into maternity leave, because having a baby, you really are stepping into the unknown. However, through these characteristics, it's allowed me to not only start to really, really look at exactly how I want the business to look when I come back, but also what I can do about it and get curious at it rather than sitting in these stories for months and months and months. And this is what I see so often with clients. When they come to work with me, they've sat in the blockers, they've sat in the limiting beliefs, they've sat in the stories for so long. We start to unravel it and they're like, oh my God, I literally had an experience with one of my clients in Voxer on Friday where she was feeling real resistance over this launch and hitting a certain amount in her business. And she came into Voxer. I literally asked her 2 questions. We got curious. She'd snapped through it energetically from a thought point of view. And she was like, whoa, oh my God. Literally within minutes, we can work through these blockers and we can work through the resistance and we can work through the kind of stagnant, stuck energy, but you need to have the tools to know how to do that. And that's where the subconscious work comes in. So, characteristics of being in good subconscious shape. Number 1, it is like the first thing I ever learned back in 2019 when I graduated as an NLP practitioner and masters and hypnotherapy, was to have the system to change the negative thoughts to better serving automatic thoughts and beliefs. This takes self-efficacy. It really, really does. Because you have to believe in yourself, your ability, your knowledge, your passion, your talents, your energy enough to go, actually, I hear you. I hear this belief coming up, or I hear this pattern replaying itself in my business, and I'm going to change it. the better serving or thinking thoughts. And I have programmed my subconscious mind, and I program my client's subconscious mind to, yes, they're going to have negative thoughts. We are hardwired as humans to have negative thoughts. We are hardwired to be running away from the lion, tiger, bear, whatever. Oh my. So they're going to be there, but it's what you actively do with them that's going to have a change. Are you right now listening and going, yeah, I really believe that I'm not good enough to sell this? Yeah, I really don't trust myself to charge these prices. Yeah, I'm never going to be a multi six-figure business owner or seven-figure business owner. And how long are you staying in that? Because actually, training your mind and being in good subconscious shape allows you to become the observer of your thoughts. This is the parts work that I do and the timeline therapy work that I do, where we go, actually, where is that coming from? What part is protecting me right now? Let me speak into that. Let me give it some time. Let me feel the feelings. Let me move through it. Boom. And what happens over a time, and this is the hairband technique that was, is such a standard technique across the self-development world. If you haven't heard it before, if we're very, very new to subconscious work, which a lot of my clients aren't new to subconscious work, to who I speak to anymore, but if you are completely new to subconscious work, wear a hairband on your wrist. Every time a belief that doesn't serve you comes in, you thank, you acknowledge it, you snap the hairband, and you change it to a thought that serves you better. And basically, the hairband brings you back into the conscious. So you actually snap the hairband, and please be careful with that. I had one client when I was doing hypnotherapy just on its own who wore an elastic band and she gave herself a blister. Please don't go and do that. Wear a soft headband. But you're basically training your subconscious mind. You're training a new habit. You're training a new pattern into the neural pathway where the moment a negative thought comes in, thank, acknowledge, change. The snap is that conscious decision. So yes, better serving automatic thoughts, and you need to get to a place where they are automatic, because those thoughts can come up time and time again in business, especially when you are playing bigger, especially when you are continuously out of your comfort zone, especially when you are doing things that you've never done before. There is going to be a fear or a bit of safety come in because your subconscious needs to keep you safe. That's its primal job. So there are going to be thoughts that come up. Of course, I still get a lot of negative thoughts, but it's what we do with them and how we change through them and how we navigate them and how and if we're playing into them. So better serving automatic thoughts and beliefs. The more that you practice, again, the brain learns best from repetition. So the more that you practice thanking, acknowledging, changing the thought to the thought that serves you better, it then starts to do it very subconsciously, which is what happens for me. Now, are there ones that kind of fall in and take a little bit longer to work through? 100%. They're probably very deep rooted and they're coming from a real emotional pull for you, which is where we kind of make, yes, we have a lot of imprints come in from the ages of 0 to 7, but kind of past ages of 0 to 7 at a push 14, we can still take on a lot of beliefs if there's been quite a big emotional pull around the situation, the circumstance. So knowing what to do with that and how to move through it is very, very important. The second characteristic of being in good subconscious shape is healthy habits and routines. And this is the consistency within yourself. Having these practices, whether that is the gym, a lot of the 1% of successful business owners will be taking care of themselves. It is the standard across the board, because if you're not looking after yourself and you're not practicing these self-care practices, whatever that looks like for you, I kind of hate that phrase, but if you haven't got these practices in place and you are not putting yourself first and you're not filling your cup up and you are putting the business or clients way before any of your core needs, what you're actually teaching the subconscious mind is that you don't care about yourself. And we don't want that. We want to have habits that that contribute to your personal, to your business growth. We want to maintain the balance between work and rest. This is why I talk about it so often. We want to engage in the physical or mental activities that put you first. And I think having these routines in place, okay, you might need someone to support you. For example, I have a personal trainer, I have support with my nutrition, all of those things. What do I need to keep myself in physical um, good shape, good subconscious shape? And then what do I need from a mindset perspective? This is why I always talk about the subconscious menu that I have. I don't have the same routine every single morning. I will pick and choose depending on how I've woke up, what I feel like. Maybe sometimes I'll do a lot of subconscious work in the morning before I start the day. Maybe I'll do just a little bit. Maybe a walk is enough for me, and having this menu that I can choose from where I go, okay, what do I know? What habits and routines do I have that put me into this energetic space where I can sell, produce content, be creative, support my clients, everything that my business needs from me. How can I energetically put myself into that space? And these are the healthy habits and routines. Like I said, any successful business owner will be prioritizing themselves. And there are so many business owners, and I fell into this trap where you get so obsessed with your business succeeding that you lose every bit of self-care. You lose every bit of healthy habits. The consistent thing that comes up on the questionnaires when I do a bespoke hypnosis track is to go to the gym, drink more water, do meditation. Like, it's all self-care practices that go out the window when you're in the belief system of it's not working, because you will push and push and push. Then we lose yourself, then we lose your energy, then we lose everything. So these healthy habits and routines. And as I'm going through these, just, these are the characteristics that I have stepped into years ago and has helped me grow the business. But just have a reflection. What is it that's going on? Like, am I prioritizing my own health habits, routines, subconscious routines? Am I shifting my thoughts? Do I know how to do that? Just start reflecting on these as we go through. The third thing is the resilient mindset. And I think every business owner needs this, because business is a challenge. Like, it is a challenge. And I think when you're creating a life and a business where it relies on you solely to bring in finances and have to be able to live on that, or whatever that looks like for you, you are going to need a way to regulate that. And a lot of the time, if you are not regulating how you feel around money and the stress of that, or if you're creating this stress story around that, you are going to very quickly fall into patterns and behaviors that will not serve your business. They won't serve your business, your clients, your ideal clients, the way that you show up to write content. You know how much I speak about the energy and the feeling of that desperation and how it comes across in social media. You can tell. So that resilient mindset means you getting really goddamn curious about the challenges, the setbacks, the things that need to change. And that is really where, that's really the shape that I get my clients into, because I'm not there to run their business for them, and I'm not there every moment of every day. And I need them to not be spiraling out of control if someone says no, or the launch doesn't quite go to plan, or the story views are low. I actually want them to become the observer and get curious of that, so they can start to move through it and actually start to become the CEO, where you go, okay, this is happening right now, completely can get and understand why, what needs to change, what needs to happen. And it's this resilient mindset, this kind of like constantly showing up for yourself, really, and being able to get curious rather than making it mean something. And it happens so often as humans, where we make something mean something that it usually isn't. because we haven't had the opportunity, you haven't given yourself the opportunity to get curious. If your messaging isn't landing, don't make it mean that you're not good enough. Go and get curious as to why it's not landing. There's probably a couple of things that you can do. Rather than playing into the story of this isn't working for me, told you it was never going to happen, instead of letting the parts take over and tell you all the self-fulfilling prophecies that you've been playing into from as a negative point of view from your subconscious, let's get curious. That's how we move forwards. That's how we can keep renovating ourselves and our subconscious mind, is being the observer, because a lot of the time these thoughts and feelings and beliefs, 100%, yes, of course they're there for a reason and we want to listen to them, but a lot of the time the beliefs are telling the lies that is creating the feelings in our body. So actually it's being able to have that resilient mindset where you go, whew, okay, this feels really scary, or this isn't working, or something isn't right here. What can I do about it? How can I move through this? What has to happen? How do I look after myself more? Is it subconscious work? Is it strategy? And getting really clear on that. Because one, you'll make better investments for yourself and your business. Two, you will show up way more. Three, your creativity will be better because you're back into the prefrontal cortex rather than constantly in the fight or flight in your amygdala. There's so many things that come out of being in that resilient mindset, and that is good subconscious shape. Because there's always going to be waters to test, right? There's always going to be a bit of something going on. Life's going to be lifing. Not always, you know what I mean. But it's how we navigate the system, our own system, that really, really helps. And I think these kind of three things that I have fully mastered inside my life, has really allowed me to sustain and grow in my business, but in my life too. Having the baby that I wanted at the time that I wanted, and growing the business. All of these things, they came with certain challenges, with certain stories, with certain beliefs. You know how I felt about pregnancy, but it's the ability to be able to move through the thoughts and beliefs that are coming up and do something with them, get curious with them, and at the end of the day, not listen to them, because like I said, that is it. It's thoughts and energetics that are going to move you forward into success. It's just inevitable, and I see it so often. And from being in good subconscious shape, there are so many things that then happen in my business. So my decision making, the clarity, the confidence, the reduce of decision fatigue was insane. I used to struggle with decision fatigue so much, to the point of I would get up in the morning and I would be knackered in the first hour, because I had taken the first hour to decide what subconscious work I was doing in the first hour. And I'd knackered myself out, and then I would knacker myself out deciding what the fuck I was doing in the business in that day. The decision fatigue, was through the roof with me. Now, being in good subconscious shape puts me back into the prefrontal cortex, which means my decision making is very clear, the clarity, the confidence, I move quicker. I have that real solid internal compass where I know, and sometimes things drop in quicker than others, and sometimes it takes me a little while to either move through it, but actually the movement and the pace that I move in the business is so much quicker now. And that's what I see. People are moving really quick in this industry, and a lot of the time, clients are like, oh my god, how are people doing this? It's because they're in the prefrontal cortex. It's because they're not sitting in the amygdala, and they're not sitting in the fear. They're not sitting in fight or flight every single day, hoping and praying that something will change by doing nothing. They're bringing themselves back into the driver's seat. And it really helps, the cognitive load, the stress, the frequency of decision making that you have to make in business. You need to be in the prefrontal cortex for that. And if you're not, you will go round in circles again and again and again. Increase productivity. Everyone knows how productive I am and how organized I am in the business. But because of the ingrained productivity habits and the way that I run the business and the foundations that I've laid in the business from both a systems point of view and from a subconscious point of view, allows me to be more in flow and more in focus. So I can achieve the states of flow more easily and effortlessly, and I can be deeper engaged in that. Imagine if we could subconsciously get you to a point where you could do 3 hours of really deep work a day. What would that do for your business? What would that do for your creativity, for your ideas, for your passion, for the talent that you have? 3 hours, imagine a day, the end, done, finish work, So, like I said, that increased productivity allows me to enjoy my life more, allows me to flow more, allows me to work less than I have ever done. I still work very intentional in the business. I still work, but because of the increased productivity, because of the good subconscious shape that I'm in, it has a massive impact. I've really noticed as well that like my relationships have massively improved, and this comes down to the emotional intelligence, which is part of having and being in good subconscious shape, the empathy and understanding that I have, attuned to people's emotions more because I'm not so in my own, being able to take constructive interactions, constructive criticism, feedback without it making it mean anything about myself. All of these things, being able to hold more space for my clients. There's a lot of things that have happened that have really improved my relationships, and I think allowing myself and doing the work on myself, especially when I met Jack and kind of the knock-on effect from there. Like the relationships I have in my life now, and they changed a lot when I came back, and I know I spoke about that a lot, but I have quite a lot less relationships from a friendship point of view, but they are deep relationships, which I love. And then better health and well-being, the consistency in the gym, even through pregnancy, the consistency with looking after myself, the sleeping enough, like really filling my cup, the boundaries that I have in place that allow me to really serve my clients to the best of my ability. All of these things, like from a mental health point of view, being able to effectively manage the negative emotions that come up, especially during pregnancy. I can't keep going on about it enough. But, I used to be a very different person to who I was now. I was constantly called last minute Haydon. So I was constantly avoidant and scrappy and doing things last minute. Our whole family were literally called last minute Haydon. I know we've talked into this before, but my dissertation I left to last minute, like everything I used to leave to last minute. And actually through being in good subconscious shape, I'm now recording podcasts that are going to go out in December. Like the Becky of a couple of years ago would be like, what the fuck? But it's the way that I hold myself in this that has allowed my business to sustain when and as I need it to, or grow when I choose to. So yes, how can you start to refine yourself and your mindset to operate at the level that you want to operate? Because your subconscious will only be your strategy will only be as good as your subconscious will allow it to be. Your strategy will only be as good as your subconscious will allow it to be. And being in good subconscious shape for me has truly opened the doors to my success. And like I said right at the beginning of the podcast, the people who I'm in the room with who are multi-6, 7, 8-figure business owners, it's the thoughts and energetics, which is all subconscious work, that really is the key focus to their success, because the foundations and the strategy are in place. And I know they are probably for you if you believed it, because right now your subconscious is telling you something else. but actually it's how you operate in your business, how you show up for yourself, that really is the key to success. So I hope this has opened your eyes to a few things. I am really looking forward to hearing your feedback from this podcast episode, because this really is the key and I will stand by it. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.